Well, welcome to a very special Trekzone conversation. I'm joined today by the awesome fellas that make up the Trek Geeks. It is, of course, Bill and Dan, Trek Geeks. Gentlemen, welcome to Trekzone.
Thanks so much for having us. It's so great to be here.
Oh, man, it's great to be here. It's good to see you again, man.
You can catch Dan and Bill's podcast on Twitter and Facebook. Just search for Trek Geeks and find this little website on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by searching for Trekzone. Now, I've had you guys on separately, but never together. So this is a bit of a moment.
We're sorry for what's about to occur today. We can't be held responsible for our own actions, right, Dan?
Yeah, I gotta say, Matt, I have to deal with them once a week, and now it's twice in the same week. I don't know if to blame you or to salute you.
Sorry. Well, look, you're going to see each other in a couple of weeks' time when the biggest Star Trek convention rolls into Vegas, as it does every year. And it's the reason I wanted to bring you guys onto the show, because it's my first time in Vegas since I was 10 years old, and it's my first time at the Star Trek convention. So I wanted to bring you guys in to try and give me a primer for what I'm about to experience with my sister.
Wow. Yeah, it's where to start. Well, I mean, the first thing I think you should probably be prepared for is you're going to be surrounded by roughly 5,000 to 6,000 of friends you haven't met yet.
Wow.
Star Trek Las Vegas is many things, but it is probably one of the most warm and welcoming fan conventions that I've ever been to. This is my 9th straight. I've been 9 years in a row. Dan, I think this is your 3rd or 4th year in a row. And it's like the largest Trek family reunion with people you've never met. Is that fair, Dan?
Yeah, this is going to be my 4th one, and I gotta say, I was a little nervous the first time, but as Bill said, as soon as you get there, you're surrounded by friends, and those friends quickly become your Trek family. And over the course of the few years that I've been doing it, and Bill, I'm sure you can attest being there going longer, the thing that I actually look forward to most out of anything that's going on when we go to STLV is meeting up with those people that you only get to see once a year. That's the best part of the whole time. It's
a shared passion for a TV show that's been enduring for over 50 years. So it very much is just everyone is here and everyone's here for the same reason, which I think is it's very different to what we have here in Australia with the awesome conventions that are Supernova and Oz Comic Con, which very much have a focus on pop culture. That's sort of where the mainstream is here in Australia. So there really isn't, and Star Trek guests are few and far between with these conventions. As much as I love them, and as much as they've given Trekzone some awesome access in the 6 years that I've been podcasting, the Trek actors are the one thing that we've always missed out here. And I was just showing my mum last night, actually, the guest list that is coming, and they're all Trek alumni, from Shatner to Mulgrew to Auberjonois to Visitor. There are so many.
Not only do these great names of all these people that play the characters that we love so much all get together in Vegas, and there's over 100 every year that I've gone, these people are real people. They like having conversations, at least all the ones that I've met. Bill, I'm sure you've got your great story about meeting Sonequa last year. All of these different actors are really excited to be in Las Vegas to see what all of these fans are there for, and that's to be together appreciating this 50-plus year whirlwind that we continue to enjoy every day.
No, without a doubt. And, Dan, since you brought it up, I'll mention it. I stood in line last year to get Sonequa Martin Green's autograph. I have this Discovery print that I'm collecting, signatures on. And I said, well, when's the next time she's going to be here? Who knows when Discovery will be shooting next time? I stood in line for about 2 hours, and that's the longest I've stood in line to get an autograph from anybody. That's because Sonequa Martin Green greets and talks to every single fan that comes up to her. The only reason why it took so long is because you actually get to interact with her, unlike some other conventions where people just keep their head down and sign all the time. The actors love to come out to Vegas. We love to have them there, and after they see you a few years, you develop sort of this rapport with some of them, and it's really kind of great.
I've always found that that sci-fi actors especially have always been really receptive to fans. Not to say that mainstream actors are any different. I think that the interactions with fans are a lot more there for sci-fi actors, and they sort of come into this world and they're welcomed in. You know, we're talking about this is becoming a theme of STLV, that it's a welcoming family environment, and these actors come in and it is a massive reaction to see some of those photos. And last year was the first time that I covered the convention fully for the 5 days remotely, and to see all the action and all the excitement build and happen is just incredible. And there are thousands of people that go to this convention out there. It's not like Supernova and Oz Comic Con here in Australia with a couple of hundred, is it?
No, it's. I think the conservative estimate is probably close to 5,000, and Creation has a seat for everybody in the main hall, which is unlike most other conventions. You know, if you go to San Diego Comic-Con and you don't get into Hall H, you're in the majority because a very small percentage of people actually get into that hall for presentations. Everybody who buys a ticket to Star Trek Las Vegas gets a seat in the main hall. That's the selling point for them. Creation has always been really great about that. There's 5 packed days worth of content. It's amazing. Like Dan said, we go mainly to see our friends and our Star Trek family. Every now and then we catch a panel because we're kind of busy catching up with people we see once a year, buying all kinds of Star Trek stuff allegedly. But it's gargantuan, and I think that Las Vegas is probably the best place for it.
I got to agree with that. One of the things that I always am trying to balance is San Diego Comic-Con is coming up, of course, and there's been a bunch of announcements this week of what's going to be taking place there. And I'm always a little bit, my feathers ruffle a little bit whenever I hear what's going on there, because Star Trek Las Vegas is the Star Trek convention in the entire world, this one place a year where there's this many people. So I look forward to the big announcements to be at STLV. And all you have to do to get an idea of what that can be like is look or listen to last year's announcement when Sir Patrick Stewart walked on stage and announced the Picard show. I have never seen a full auditorium like that react the way that it did at STLV. And I'm praying that something big is going to announce this year at STLV as well.
And Sir Patrick Stewart was actually an unannounced guest at last year's convention. So what was the sort of build-up to that? Obviously, there's a big announcement. How did they get people in the theatre for something that they weren't telling people about?
Well, so here's the thing. So William Shatner was on the stage just prior to Alex Kurtzman, and there was a buzz going around the convention floor that said, hey, you should stick around for Kurtzman because there's going to be some kind of announcement. After Shatner was done, at least half the auditorium left.
Wow.
Because they're like, Alex Kurtzman, whatever. And then by the time Sir Patrick came out, I'd say the auditorium was maybe 3/4 full. And by the time he was 30 seconds into talking, the auditorium had filled back up to standing room only. Wow. It was, I've never felt so much emotion. I'm not going to lie. I had tears running down my eyes as a grown man. I'm comfortable admitting that. Because the feeling and the electricity in that room was just nothing I've ever felt before at a Star Trek convention.
One of the things that was really cool when that happened, Matt, was we were actually in the vendor's room a little bit prior to that taking place. And we've seen Shatner and we've seen a lot of the stars on stage a lot. So we weren't there for this Shatner conversation this particular year. And we happened to be walking around, and John Van Citters walked up and said hi. And he goes, by the way, you might want to get into the showroom in the next few minutes because there's going to be a big announcement. So when John Van Citters says something like that, you go into the showroom to see what's going on. And we were not disappointed. Like Bill, I had tears in my eyes, as I think everyone sitting with us did. It was an unbelievable moment that really I will never forget because it was so exciting.
Do you think that we're going to see more? I guess it's tricky because, as you say, San Diego Comic-Con is coming up, and CBS have announced basically a schedule of what they're going to be releasing there, including details of Picard and Discovery Season 3 and all these things. I wonder what they're holding back for Vegas.
Well, I think for me, I think they're going to show a trailer of some kind in San Diego. Fortunately / unfortunately. I'm a huge Section 130 fan, 31 fan. Everyone who listens to Trek Geeks know that. I'm hoping, and I'm not anticipating, but I'm hoping that we're going to have some kind of teaser for Section 31. It's not going to be filming until after Season 3 is done filming, but maybe they'll put together something digitally. That's what I'm hoping for.
I am hoping against hope for a Captain Pike series. Last year, they made the Picard announcement before the home crowd. They didn't do it at San Diego Comic-Con. I'm hoping that they try to catch the same kind of buzz this year. But I also know that that is probably a dream on my part and that it's likely not going to happen.
I think I would love even a movie.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Would CBS do it before they merge back with Paramount? I don't know. But if they did a feature-length episode, if you will, a feature-length short trek. There you go. That's the in. With Pike back, I think would just appease so many fans, and it would be incredible to see. As Anson said on Trekzone a couple of weeks ago, when I managed to snag him, having said that Supernova doesn't bring out Star Trek stars, bloody hell, they brought out Anson Mount, and I got the phone call from the publicist and said, "Here, you want to speak to Anson?" And he handed the phone over to him. It was fantastic. I love Lionel, but to talk to him and to ask him about that, and he basically said that he would do it. I read between the lines where he would do that, but obviously people higher up than him on the pay grade make that decision.
I'm glad you brought that up, Matt, because I did want to say, first of all, thumbs up. That was a fantastic interview. Great catch. That was really enjoyable.
Definitely.
And as Bill and I have talked about on Discovering Trek, Captain Pike has become our favorite captain in Star Trek because of what Anson Mount brought to Discovery Season 2. He was phenomenal. I can't say enough good things about what he did, and I'm praying to God that we'll get some kind of a Pike series. Hopefully, I hope that everybody's listening and writes in your petitions like they did back in the 60s to keep Star Trek going.
I think it would be a huge announcement if they make it. I think that the buzz would be almost as much as Sir Patrick. I mean, when you have an icon coming back to an iconic role, it's one thing. When you have a series that, by and large, almost every Discovery fan on the planet wants to see, I have to believe that CBS is listening to that and will hopefully do something. But again, I'm an optimist. I'm probably also a dreamer.
Well, gentlemen, thank you very much for the primer on STLV. I'm looking forward to catching up with you guys. We got the invite to the After Dark party. So
the Camp Kittimer After Dark party, our official Facebook group. We're just having a little meetup just to put faces with names and just to have a good time.
Fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Keely's looking forward to it as well, my sister. It's going to be the first time at a major Star Trek convention for her. I think I'm going to need to pack a few extra suitcases.
Well,
that's a good plan.
Bring an empty one for all the stuff you're going to want to buy too.
Take it on as hand luggage. Hawaiian Airlines can deal with it later. Fantastic. Trek Geek Dan, Trek Geek Bill, thank you very much for your time, guys, and we'll see you in Vegas. Vegas or bust. Our tour of the US kicks off in 20 days. Gentlemen, thanks for the primer.
Live long and prosper.
Can't wait to see you, man. Looking forward to it, and we're going to have a blast.
Get exclusive access to podcasts, behind-the-scenes info, and uncut editions of the show by becoming a member on Patreon today. Support Australia's unofficial home of Star Trek. Get even better with membership starting at just $1 per month. Jump over to patreon.com/TrekZone.org.au. You can also get social with Trekzone. Australia's unofficial home of Star Trek is everywhere you are. Get the wrap-up on our Facebook page, keep in the loop on Twitter, and relive Trek episodes on Instagram. Plus, you can catch the latest podcasts on your favourite podcasting app. New content is being added all the time to Trekzone's YouTube channel. Talkin' Science with Dr. Brad Tucker on Tuesdays. Trekzone Live on Thursdays starting in September after STLV. And a Trekzone Conversation on Saturdays. Don't miss a moment. Subscribe and ring the bell to be the first to know about new eps. A huge thanks to Dan and Bill for their insights into STLV. And I can't wait to get the tour started. 20 days to go.